Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Weedsport Speedway, our first live broadcast of 2019 for Off Track TV. Along with Dan Kapusinski, I'm the voice, Shane Andrews, and we welcome you to the port as we kick off our new season. Dan, what a year we have planned here, but we want to invite everybody to say hello to us and ask some questions.
That's right. Part of our Off Track TV live special here at Weedsport this year is to get some fan involvement. So you can pull out your cell phones. You can get up online, tweet Shane at New York Voice 13 or myself at Dan Kapusinski. Ask us some questions. Let's get involved. We want to know what you want to hear about.
That's right. All you need to do is use this little device. That is a cell phone. Well, this is my cell phone. Tweet Dan or I. He'll get it on his phone. He won't get it on mine. Dan, how you been over the off season?
Man, I've been good. You know, just getting ready for racing. It's been wet here in Central New York. We're hoping to dry out, get some action going on. Really excited to bring a series of Off Track TV live shows to the fans at home. We're looking to do this through the month of October. Get all the news and notes on Weedsport Racing, Northeast action all over, and get things started.
You have already got my vote for best beard of 2019 already.
It's been 5 months in the making.
It is, and it looks great. You know, we already kicked things off in 2019 here at the Speedway with a test and tune session. We had a really good turnout of cars.
Yeah, more than 20 cars came here to Weedsport for our session on Sunday. One of those in the pit area, 8-time Super Dirt Car Series champion Matt Shepard, taking the opportunity to cut some laps. And really, Shane, everybody that came here, Jimmie Phelps, Dave Marchicelli, the rest, they got to look at some really good track conditions. Hot and heavy early on, and then it dried off slick at the end of the day. A perfect session for these drivers.
Primarily a modified and sportsman track here at the Speedway, but some great competitors coming in. Dave Marchicelli, moving up to the 358 modified ranks this year, came in and did some testing and tuning with his car. As you mentioned, Matt Shepard. Jimmie Phelps, the promoter of the Weedsport Speedway, also turning some laps.
That's right. You talk about the 358 modified division. Among those was the number 3 car of AJ Kingsley. A lot of guys making that jump to that division this season from the sportsman ranks or late model ranks. They took, they definitely took as much track time as they could on Sunday, including some of our sprint car competitors.
And it gives the drivers an opportunity if they haven't raced yet. And with the weather we've seen in Central New York, a lot of drivers have not been on the Speedway. So it really gave them an opportunity to shake down their equipment and maybe, if you would, knock some of the rust off.
Well, exactly. From a crew standpoint, from a driver's standpoint, you always want to get as much track time as you can. And with these fantastic conditions on the racetrack, it was well worth it.
It sure was. And a great turnout, as we talked about. Over 20 cars coming in for the practice session. And 2 of the drivers that we had come into the practice session, no strangers to the Weedsport Speedway.
Yeah, Chuck and Kelly Heaving were here to take some laps. 360 sprint car competitors. Of course, Chuck had a fantastic run against the World of Outlaws here last year. They're looking to get a head start on that race that's coming up in 2 weeks.
And they're excited to get their season going. And, of course, you've met Dan and I, but we do have a third member of our broadcast team that you will see with us quite a bit on Off Track TV this season. He was at the test and tune session, and he caught up with the Heavings. Let's send it down to Rich Vlack.
Well, one of the stars of the 360 world every time that the Empire Super Sprints are here at the Weedsport Speedway is Chuck Heaving, and you've done it here on slick tracks and tacky tracks. What's your favorite way to go around Weedsport?
I like Weedsport both ways. I mean, it's technical. You know, I mean, there's a slippery top and there's a way to run the bottom here. So I like Weedsport both ways. You know, I mean, at least when it's wide and there's 2 lanes, everybody gets a good show. If it's, you know, I mean, like last night it was pretty heavy over to Canada with the rain and stuff like that. That made it tough for a good show. But Weedsport's always good when it's kind of slick from top to bottom, in my thoughts.
You've had your kind of stranglehold on the place over the last few years, but every year you're throwing a new car at it.
Yeah, this year it's a brand new car. I actually gave Kelly the car we ran last year, and that's what we're here for today, just to get her comfortable. And that practice day, I can pay a little more attention to her and try to get her going.
Can you feel the difference when you get in this one?
This car is very similar to that car, very similar. So today we're going to try some stuff that you'd never try on race day. Just some different shock packages, stuff you wouldn't try on race day because you're always trying to be the fastest at a certain time.
That's the beauty of the practice day, so wait to see Chuck Heaving here. He'll be around in 2019. One of the 360 sprint cars are in town here at the Weedsport Speedway. One of the familiar faces, Kelly Heaving, and able to get a little bit of a look at the racetrack today. What are the plans for 2019?
I'm going to follow the ESS Tour one more time, give it another shot at it. Last year we visited a lot of tracks for the first time, so it was kind of hard with our time trial deal because the first time you hit the track is the first time you got to qualify. So we'll go back to the tracks and hopefully get a little better qualifying and go from there.
What do you think your strengths are that you can kind of build on a little bit?
I think my strength's having my dad with me on the tour. Honestly, working off of his notebook and watching him. But, I mean, I got a year under my belt racing with those guys, so I think it's just keep knocking at it.
So Weedsport Speedway, it's a special track for you.
I love this place. I grew up here watching Dad, and Al and Betsy have been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So coming back here is a lot of fun.
And looking forward to a few good races here again this season.
Yeah, hopefully that's why I'm here at practice.
All right, there she is, Kelly Heaving, ready to go once again here in 2019.
Boy, a family that races together stays together.
That's for sure. The Heavings certainly know how to do it.
Don't forget, tweet us your questions, because when we return, we're meeting an up-and-coming 358 modified driver.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
The Outlaws and Renegades Tours coming to Weedsport Speedway, starring Travis Tritt. And the Charlie Daniels Band with special guest the Cadillac 3. Saturday, June 22nd at Weedsport Speedway. Tickets available online at weedsportspeedway.com. Get your VIP upgrades before they sell out.
Welcome back to the Weedsport Speedway Off-Track TV live from this beautiful facility. And Dan, as night sets in, we've got to talk about the Outlaws and Renegades. And no, it is not a sanctioning series that will be racing here at the track. It's a concert.
That's right. Travis Tritt, the Charlie Daniels Band, they're going to be rocking here at Weedsport. A little bit of a throwback to the days of concerts in years past. Just another exciting sample of what we have here at Weedsport Speedway. Not just a racing facility. We like to do a little bit of everything.
Charlie Daniels, if you're watching, I ask you, please, would you play Uneasy Rider in concert for this bald-headed fan? But anyways, we'll talk about that later. You know, we had some great cars here for the practice session on Sunday, and the 358 Modifieds came to town. And as we met the Heavings, a racing family, we had another racing family, the Kingsleys, that were here.
That's right. The Kingsleys on hand. AJ Kingsley, driver. Eric Kingsley, father, of course, a longtime promoter at Fulton and Utica Rome Speedways. Now his son making the jump from the late model division to the 358s this year.
And AJ taking his first laps in a 358 Modified here at our practice session, and Rich Vleck was able to catch up with him.
So AJ Kingsley with a new ride this year, getting the bugs worked out of it a little bit, and back here at Weedsport. What does it mean to be here at Weedsport, no matter what car you're in?
Oh, this track has always been fun. I started racing here when I was in the Sportsman back in, was it 2006? I mean, I have history. I clobbered the wall the first lap I ever did here. Tried to knock it down, it didn't happen, but off and on I've always come here. I always love coming here. This has been a fun track, and it's a great place to be.
So tell us about your venture for 2019.
For this year, we are going with the 358s. We ended up doing a deal, getting rid of a late model and acquiring a Sportsman. We sold the Sportsman motor, and we got a brand new Morrison engine for this year. We're going to do hit or miss shows just for the time being, and then we plan on going weekly at probably either Fulton or Utica. Haven't really decided what we're going to do yet.
Just having some fun.
Yeah, we're racing when we can, doing whatever we want. We have more options with the small block than we did with the late model. We still have a late model. Throughout the year, I might drive it once or twice. Tim Sears is going to drive it a couple times, and if anybody wants to drive a late model, it's there.
Opportunities are out there. This guy's gone through a major transformation over the last 15 years, racing style, lifestyle, everything else. He's ready to go for 2019.
I can remember AJ Kingsley as a young boy running around the Utica Rome Speedway, being involved with the track that his dad ran, and to see him that he's matured into a winning late model driver and now is going to get behind the wheel of a 358 modified. It brings back a lot of memories for me.
Well, families are a common thread in this sport. No different than myself and a lot of other drivers and people that have been around here for a long time. Once it's in your blood, it's there. It's hard to take it away.
A lot of things that happen at the racetrack in the 358 modified division, you're going to see right here is they'll be sprinkled in with the big block modifieds in 2019, and we had a few 358 modifieds come into town on Sunday for the practice.
That's right, AJ. Of course, Dave Marchicelli was here as well. We've announced Dave is going to be here with us for the big block opener on Sunday, May 19th. Sterling Lubricants and Champion Oil Modified Series. 358s will be in town for that because there's a $500 bonus for the highest finishing 358 driver in that show. So you're seeing a lot of guys that have been in the sportsman ranks. They finally have that platform between sportsmen and big blocks where they can really get on their feet running here in Central New York.
One of the drivers that we'll also see in 2019 is this gentleman right here, RD3 Ronnie Davis III. He's got himself a 358 modified ride on Saturday nights at Fulton, but he'll also be in a big block modified here at the port.
That's right. He's making the jump pretty quick. Ronnie Davis III has been a guy that's been fast everywhere he's gone. He's shown it right off the bat. Get another look here at Matt Shepard sailing into the first corner, and like we talked about, an 8-time series champion, always looking for more laps.
Looking for any competitive advantage that he can get and looking and reading the track. One of the guys we'll also see here on a regular basis, Chad Phelps, in that X-Ride out in New Haven. Whenever the Super Dirt Series comes to town, Chad always seems to pick up his game and always get in the show.
That's for sure, and I urge everybody to keep track of the Weedsport social media, Facebook and Twitter. We're slowly filtering out more and more drivers that we know are going to be here on Sunday, May 19th. It's going to be a jam-packed, action-filled event. You'd almost think it was a Super Dirt Car Series show, but not quite.
Well, there are going to be some big names coming into town, and one of those names that we're going to see here is the promoter of the Weedsport Speedway. He's also the driver of the HBR Racing number 98H, Jimmie Phelps, wearing two hats on one night.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't just a test and tune for the racers and the team owners, but also for owners and operators.
When we return to Off Track TV, we're going to talk to the promoter and the driver of the number 98H Big Block Modified, Jimmie Phelps. Stay with us.
The Outlaws and Renegades Tours coming to Weedsport Speedway, starring Travis Tritt. And the Charlie Daniels Band with special guest the Cadillac 3. Saturday, June 22nd at Weedsport Speedway. Tickets available online at weedsportspeedway.com. Get your VIP upgrades before they sell out.
Welcome back to the Weedsport Speedway Off Track TV. Shane Andrews along with Dan Kapazinski. And Dan, we can't urge fans enough. All you got to do is give us a tweet. I'm at New York NY Voice 13.
Dan _Kapazinski. I don't know if you can spell my last name, so that's pretty much. They better put it on the screen.
You can't mess up mine. How do you say that? Dan, that's his name. But give us a shout out on Twitter, or if you have our cell phone numbers. And I know I'm stretching this to my friends. If you have my cell phone number, give me a cell shout out on the text message. Don't call in the middle of the show. But if you have a question, we're more than happy to answer it. And one of the guys that does get a lot of questions on race night is Jimmie Phelps, and he's got one of the toughest jobs here. He's the promoter of the Speedway, but on race nights, depending on what division is here in the big block modifieds, he's also behind the wheel.
Yeah, it can be tough enough to just think about track conditions or how you're going to handle a race car in any given moment. But when you also are basically running a facility, dealing with ticketing questions or maybe issues in grandstands or whatever else, Jimmie Phelps has to be on his toes at all times, and it all started on Sunday.
That's right, and Rich Vleck was able to catch up with the boss to get his thoughts about the upcoming season.
Jimmie Phelps not just turning some laps here on practice day, but a lot of work underneath the car to get it ready for 2019. You find anything you like?
We're just playing right now. I mean, we got some really good races here this year for the modified, so we're honestly trying to just find something to use the day to just try to just find an edge somehow. Not sure we're quite there yet, but I feel pretty good and really happy with the track. I think that's probably the big takeaway right now. The car's decent. The track seems to be really good for the much rain as we've had, and fingers crossed.
Here in 2019, you talked about all the great modified races going on and the Champion Racing Oil Series with the modifieds. There's a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah, it is, and and again, I mean, obviously you got all the big premier divisions coming in, World Outlaws, Tony Stewart's All Stars, USAC sprint cars are coming in again. We got the bikes again. There's some really good stuff, a little bit of something for everybody for sure. But like I said, on a personal note, 6 big block races, we're excited about that. As a race team, as HBR, we're excited about that. I'm excited about how excited the fans are. I mean, anytime you can put the big 410 sprints, USAC, any of them, and put big blocks with them. I mean, it's something you don't see every day up here in Central New York, especially. So, we're proud to be able to make it happen. We're going to do our best to, to hope every show is, going to leave them wanting more. Let's put it that way.
And there is more here on the grounds, too. I walk in, I see things going up in turn 1. I walk into the bathrooms, I go, oh, these are brand new. You got a lot of stuff happening right here on the grounds to make it better for the fans.
We had a busy winter again, as always. Obviously, we got the old original bathrooms from, way back in the day. They were all completely remodeled, so they're going to mirror the new ones that are in the entry building. So that's been a big undertaking, obviously. We got some camping bathrooms built within that same building. Those are about done. We'll be ready for the 19th. And, a whole bunch of stuff. We got a big project going on in Turn 1, which is going to provide some additional seating eventually, a whole different view of the Speedway, a different view than we've had yet to date. So we're excited about that. We got some hospitality that we're going to be working on here in the spring, into the summer, trying to get ready for some of the bigger mid-season stuff, and always something going on here at Weedsport.
And that doesn't even include the menu, which continues to grow. Jimmie, good luck this season. I know it's going to be a great year.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Every time we return here to the Weedsport Speedway, there's always something new. And Rich Vleck said, the menu continues to grow. And because of that menu, my waistline continues to grow each and every summer. And it's a treat. Every time you walk into this facility, Dan, there's always something different.
Well, I think that's part of the allure. You never know what to expect when you come to Weedsport, but it's always going to improve. And the fans are always at the top of everybody's mind. What can you do here at Weedsport to make the experience that much more enjoyable from the moment you come through the gate until, not even really when the checkered flag falls, it's until you walk back out the gate, get to your car, and exit. It's all part of the experience. Yeah.
All a part of the fan amenities that we have here at this Speedway, one of the top-notch facilities in the United States. Well, we've been asking you to send in your questions, and you have responded. When we come back, we're going to challenge some of those questions here. We're going to take it on. Head on, Dan.
I'm excited.
We're going to get the green flag on our first question and answer segment here on Live Track TV.
Fresh off for Global Arena Tour, Nitro Circus is coming to Syracuse for the first time with our craziest show ever, the You Got This Tour. We've spent the last year traveling the world collecting the best riders, building new contraptions, testing bigger ramps, and creating the most entertaining live show we've ever produced. Nitro Circus is coming to MPT Bank Stadium Saturday, June 1st. Get your tickets now at tickets.com.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado. It's the official truck of calloused hands and elbow grease. The official truck of getting to work and getting to work. Of late nights and date nights. It's the official truck of homecoming and coming home. The all-new Chevy Silverado. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. It's the official truck of real people.
Welcome back to Off Track TV. Well, the green flag has dropped on the 2019 season here at the port, and now it's going to drop on our first Q&A session for Off Track TV. Every time we do one of these broadcasts live on our YouTube channel, Dan and I urge you and request, send us some questions. And if we use your questions, well, you just might get a special prize next time you come here to the Speedway.
That's right.
And Dan, I got a couple on my Twitter account here. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's see it.
Well, ChickyDoo714 wants to know, Turn 1 looked different at the practice session. What was changed?
Well, Chicky Doo, I can tell you exactly what was changed. The barriers on the inside of the fourth turn and the inside of the first turn have been moved in on the Speedway this year. We've also extended the wall on the outside of turn 1 by a few feet as well. So essentially, the front straightaway is wider, and it should allow more two-car racing going into the first corner. So it does look a little bit different. I had the opportunity to talk to Matt Shepard some on Sunday, discuss with him what he thought about the changes. Said it didn't really drive that much different, but he definitely noticed that the front straightaway appears wider from the driver's vision.
Matt has a tremendous amount of laps and time here at the Speedway, so it may not look different to him. But last year when we had the USAC sprint cars here, a lot of drivers were saying it was awfully tight going into turn number 1. So it's going to be different for the guys that don't see it on a regular basis.
That's for sure. Turn 1 at Weedsport may be one of the most daunting corners you're going to see, just from the simple fact that you have to change direction so quickly. And by widening that corner out a little bit, it might be a little more forgiving for some of the sprint car guys that tend to sail it in there on the high side. A little bit more room for error, you could say. Right. It's certainly not going to hurt the racing. If anything, it's going to help it. And I think it'll be very fantastic to see.
Will we see more drivers starting to carry a little bit more speed into turn number 1 because it isn't as tight?
You're not going to carry more speed on the outside of the corner, but you might see guys trying more slide job maneuvers going into one because they're going to have that much more room on the bottom side. And when you can carry that much more speed in low, you're not going to get to the outside wall as quick. So it'll be interesting to see how they maneuver going into turn 1, especially the sprint cars.
The whole objective is to make it a little bit wider and obviously racier for the drivers.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, not at all changing the characteristics of Weedsport Speedway. It is still as unique as ever.
Great question, Chicky Doo. Thank you. The real MBR, I think you know him, wants to know, can anyone beat Matt Shepard this year?
Nobody could in the month of April.
Except Mother Nature.
Yeah, except Mother Nature. Well, obviously, yes, people can beat Matt Shepard. But, boy, it's going to be tough. And when you've got a guy like that comes here and uses over 2 hours of testing time to improve his game, you know how dedicated he and his team are to going to victory lane. It's going to take some dedicated guys in the right circumstances. But Superman, maybe somebody has some kryptonite out there. We'll have to wait and see.
Last year, he started out on a tear, and then he kind of faded off, if you will. But he still had an over 20-win season as compared to the 42 that he had the year before. I think he's come out a little bit more motivated this year after his 7th Super Dirt Series championship. Yeah. He already proved that by winning 5 races, like you mentioned, in the month of April. But what sets him aside from everybody else is the fact that here's an 8-time series champion, 5 wins in the month of April. Yeah. He didn't need to come to a test in tuning session, but yet he did. And that is only proven that he is on top of the game and he is looking for that competitive advantage.
Well, and he can come here and do that because as we talked to Matt in his shop in our first episode of Off Track TV earlier this year, he's as hands-on as they come. He's the car owner. He's the driver. He's the fabricator. He's the crew chief. He does it all. So when Matt comes here, he's not testing and tuning his driving. He is building a notebook for how tracks may change and where he can go from there.
I think we've got time for one more here. Sprint Fan 25 wants to know, out of all the shows at the port this year, which one are you looking forward to the most? I'll let you answer that one first. And there's such a diverse schedule this year. Oh, my God. Weedsportspeedway.com to get this full
Exactly.
schedule.
It's tough because it's basically each month is broken into something different. You get May, we get really rocking with big blocks, but we have the World of Outlaws. June is more of a sprint car month with the USAC sprinters and the All-Star Circuit of Champions sprint cars. I grew up watching Saturday Night and Thursday Night Thunder. I love USAC. I always look forward to watching the non-wing sprint cars, especially when you saw I don't want to say the troubles, but how many fits the track gave them last year. The challenge of getting around Weedsport. I look forward to that race, I think, the most. But, and then you got all the races at the Weedsport Cartway, too, that I'm pretty excited about. So it's, but I'll say the USAC show, if I have to pick one.
Mine, it's really hard to have a favorite, to be honest with you, because they are all so good. I mean, I'm a sprint fan. I love the USAC sprints. I love the flat track motorcycle racing that we had here last year. The Sportsmen put on a spectacular show each and every time they take to the Speedway. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say it's probably the Hall of Fame 100 for the big block modifieds. And my reason being is that we're celebrating our past with the induction of the Hall of Famers, but we're also celebrating our present with the Cars and Stars here at the Weedsport Speedway. Right. It's a nostalgic night. It's a great way to bring everybody together. Yep. We can bench race, we can talk, and then we've seen some great racing with the big block modifieds here for the Hall of Fame 100.
$10,000 on the line doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all, and that is coming up on July 28th. Don't go too far. We have more coming your way. Our first live show of Off Track TV. When we return, a little bit more for you. Stay with us.
Fresh off our global arena tour, Nitro Circus is coming to Syracuse for the first time with our craziest show ever, the You Got This Tour. We've spent the last year traveling the world collecting the best riders, building new contraptions, testing bigger ramps, and creating the most entertaining live show we've ever produced. Nitro Circus is coming to MPT Bank Stadium Saturday, June 1st. Get your tickets now at tickets.com.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado. It's the official truck of calloused hands and elbow grease. The official truck of getting to work and getting to work. Of late nights and date nights. It's the official truck of homecoming and coming home. The all-new Chevy Silverado. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. It's the official truck of real people. Welcome back to Off Track TV. Shane Andrews and Dan Kapazinski here, and a big thanks to everybody for sending in questions. And because we used your questions, you've won your choice of either putting powder on my head next time to keep the shine down or trimming Dan's beard for garden gnomes, whichever you want to do. Fear the beard. Fear the beard. Hey, we joke a little bit, but we do have some great stuff coming up here at the Speedway. The Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series is going to be in town on 3 separate occasions this season for 3 big shows.
That's right. Of course, Monday, May 27th, Heroes Remembered weekend. We're going to have a 100-lap show for the Big Block Modified, $7,500 to win. Shane, you already alluded to the Hall of Fame 100 in the middle of July. Then, of course, we wrap it up Labor Day weekend with the Labor Day 100. 3 big chances to see the Super Super Dirt Car Series stars and 6 chances total to see the big block modified.
And our first race of the season, May 19th, the Empire State Challenge with the World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, and the Sterling Lubricants Champion Oil Modified Series.
That's right. Very happy to have Averdye Storage Containers bringing us that racing event. That's going to be a huge way to start the season here at Weedsport.
And you know, Dan, we've got to talk about this because it has obviously been the big headline in racing over the last 4 weeks to a month, and that's been Mother Nature. Yeah. She's the one that's really been holding the keys to victory lane.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, you know, it's one of those deals where hopefully the tides will change. Hopefully she'll become a race fan here pretty soon. Just got to hold tight. You know, everybody wants to see racing. It's not always the perfect scenario when the grounds get wet.
Absolutely. And, you know, we don't want to see anybody get in any trouble in any of the ancillary portions that can happen, whether it's cars or haulers or
sure.
Getting stuck in the infield or in the parking lot. You also got to take into effect some of the economic challenges that have. You know, it's tough being a promoter.
It
really is. I mean, you've got to put your emotions on your sleeve. And when you see the clouds in the sky, it's like, geez, do I or don't I? And, you know, they're taking the financial risk, so it affects them. It affects the race fans for their entertainment dollar. It affects the manufacturers of the race cars. They're not selling any extra parts. No VP racing fuel is being sold. No tires are being sold for Hoosier Tire. So there's an economic effect for everybody involved in the sport.
The big thing to know is that everybody wants to go racing.
Yeah.
Man, we want to see some action, but we want to do it fun, effectively, and most importantly, safely for everybody as well. So we'll get there.
We are, and it's going to be May 19th right here at the Weedsport Speedway, and we invite all of you to come and see us. Dan, first show of the year right out of the box. Always a pleasure to be back with you, working with you again.
Excited. Looking forward to the entire season, Shane. Always great working with you.
Thursday, May 23rd is our next Off-Track TV live show here from the Weedsport Speedway. Don't forget to send us your questions, and we are going to come up with some prizes if we use your questions, so please get on Twitter, get on the World Wide Web, check us out. Weedsport Productions, my website, or I don't have a website. I'm not that fancy yet, but you can get me on Twitter. You can get Dan on Twitter. Send us your questions. We want to hear from you. We appreciate everybody coming and hearing and listening and watching us here tonight. Email questions, info at weedsportspeedway.com. It's going to be a great year, and I can't wait to do more of this.
It is. It is. You know, these shows are a fantastic way to keep fans updated. I want to thank all the production guys for the work they put in to make this happen. It's a major undertaking to do something like this, but we're all race fans. We love the sport, and we're excited to talk to you about it.
Don't forget, Thursday, May 23rd, 8 p.m., our next Off-Track TV live broadcast. For Dan Kapazinski, my name is Shane Andrews. For everybody with the Weedsport Productions team, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you at the races. Lopez picks up the win. Trouble. Holsizer hard into the wall after contact with Harvard. John Waters out of Whitesville, New York. Tonight, he is going to win the Rush Hour 30. We've got one up and hard and over. Another 2 cars, 3 cars involved. We're ready. Woody's ready. Weedsport, are you ready? Race fans, wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point harness. Grandpa, take a Viagra pill. It's time to get it on. Race fans, it's showtime.
Your sportsman winner, Kevin Ridley.
Connor Cleveland will win his second feature of the year at the port. Friesen will hold off all advancement and win the Heroes Remembered 100. Eric Rudolph out of Ransomville, New York, third-generation driver, picks up the win for the Hall of Fame 100. Thank you for joining us. We'll see all of you at the races.